Alright, what's up? In this video, you're going to be learning 3 reasons as to why you keep messing up over and over again, and also 3 solutions on how to prevent messing up over and over and over again. Alright, so first of all, we are all humans, so no matter how hard we try, we will keep messing up, but that's also pretty good because we learn from our mistakes pretty well. But that doesn't mean that we should try to avoid messing up over and over again and avoid silly mistakes. Alright, so the first reason is that you're not present in the moment. So, pretty much up until I started meditating last year, I was just AFK all the time. And since I wasn't present in the moment, I would just mess up a lot because since I was always in my head, I could never make calculated decisions like ever. I couldn't weigh up the pros and cons of a decision mainly because I was just too busy in my own world. So the first solution is meditation. Alright, I've left a link to Hamza's meditation guide in the description below. He's explained it pretty easily. All the other guides I've seen are pretty complicated. So yeah, just start off with 1 minute of meditation a day and gradually build that up to about 10 to 15 minutes. And in about 2 to 4 weeks, you'll see a drastic improvement in your presence and your consciousness and your focus. And with this, you'll be more vigilant and you'll actually be able to make really, really good decisions. I think our generation needs meditation the most because we just live in an overstimulated world and we're all addicted to social media and our attention spans are horrible. So I think meditation is a really good first step. Now, the second reason is second order consequences. Now, this is actually something that I learned from Iman Gaji. So now I'm actually really grateful for this, and he pretty much says that instead of only thinking about the primary consequences of your actions, think about the tertiary, the secondary consequences. So pretty much think multiple moves in advance. Let me give you an example. So let's say you want to eat dessert. A normal person would just say, okay, I want to eat dessert, and they would eat dessert. But a more aware person would think, okay, if I eat dessert now, what will happen later? So for them, they might be on a diet, and eating dessert for them would actually throw them out of their calorie deficit. So that's why if they thought that in advance, they could avoid going out of the calorie deficit. Or eating dessert might actually make them feel sluggish because they have a workout later on. So they can avoid having a bad workout if they have dessert now. So if they just thought about this a few steps in advance, they could actually avoid that post decision regret. Now that was obviously a pretty simple example, but you get the point. Now this is something that I'm still struggling with because I only recently started implementing this, and the times where I have implemented it, it's actually gone pretty well. I was actually able to avoid a lot of post decision regret, but obviously sometimes I still forget to implement it and I still mess up. But yeah, we live and we learn. Don't try to over obsess over this. Obviously, don't try to apply this to every single tiny decision that you make in your life and get stressed out. Just apply this to big/medium decisions that you make in your life and you'll actually be pretty good. The third technique is to take responsibility for everything that happens to you in your life and to also learn from your mistakes. Now, these two kind of go hand in hand, so let me give you an example. So, let's say one day you had a test in school and it was really, really difficult and you did badly in the test. And you go home to your parents and you say, oh, well, the test was difficult for everybody, or the questions that were asked were not taught to us, or whatever. You can make a bunch of excuses. And this is actually the excuse that a lot of us used to make when we were little. Like the test was just difficult for everybody. That's why we did bad. Now, all those excuses might actually be valid. But imagine if you actually took responsibility for why you did badly and you analyze the paper and you try to find out ways in which you can improve. I mean, chances are you do a lot better in the next test, regardless of whether the next test was unfair or not. This is why taking responsibility is so good, because initially it might actually hurt to take all the blame on yourself, but later on you can actually learn from your mistakes and grow. But if you didn't take the blame at first and you didn't take responsibility, then you lose that opportunity to grow. So even if it might hurt at first, just take responsibility and learn from your actions. Now, a step further for this would actually be to take responsibility not only for everything that happens to you, but also to take responsibility for everything that happens to the people close to you. Now, this is actually a completely new level and a level that I'm trying to reach myself, but obviously, it's going to take time and effort. But for now, if you're a man, you should take responsibility for every single thing that happens to you and notice the difference in your life. So, in conclusion, by implementing these methods, you won't be able to avoid all mistakes in your life. You will still keep making mistakes. And even for me, like I've only recently started implementing these methods like a few months ago. So, even I'm still learning and struggling, and I still mess up a lot as well. So, yeah, pretty much by implementing these methods, you'll stop making silly mistakes and you'll start making better decisions. So, yeah, subscribe if you found value, and see ya.